All right, thanks for staying tuned. We begin a new series. We have captioned the new series, Entertainment in Perspective. But before we go into the nitty-gritty of the show today, our guest is already waiting on Zoom. What are we bantering about today? What's on your mind today?
What's on my mind?
Yes.
It's the same thing that's on everyone's mind. Today is May
May-
Day. Today is Workers' Day.
Is there
And
really a
so
celebration? Is there really?
I
Is there
haven't felt that celebration yet, but well, I've been in here a couple of hours. Maybe things are turning around, but I don't expect there to be any massive celebration.
The public
Maybe
holiday is on
just-
Monday, by the way.
It's on Monday,
Yeah.
yes, and but usually by now we would have started, getting the feel of what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the Nigerian worker, and in fact, workers all over the world, they have a lot on their mind at this time. Yeah, apart from the pandemic, economies are tighter,
True.
things are a little more difficult for many of us, and yeah, that will be on their minds.
Many of us. Have you ever worked for anybody?
But I have. Yes,
Because
I have.
when
I
we
have,
talk
Helen.
about
Remember-
workers, really, the first thing that comes to mind is people who are working for the federal government, the state
Yes,
government,
I did. I
and the
worked
local.
for federal government. I
Oh, you
worked for the
did?
radio. I worked for Federal Radio
Oh,
Corporation
that's
of
true.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
As far
How
back as
could I forget?
1979. Yeah. Better believe it.
Okay, all right. It's not merely. It's not. The discussion is not on May Day per se. We would have gone into what it used to be then and what
And
it is now. What the
yes.
agitations now should be about. But you just said it, that the pandemic and the economic situation is biting so hard on
So
workers.
hard, yes.
you
All
know.
we have to do now is just ask the Nigerian worker to just be patient, take it easy. Things are very tough.
By the way,
everywhere.
is the minimum wage, has it been implemented across board? Do you know?
Across board would be difficult to say because each state has to really know
Find
what
out,
they have in
yeah.
their till to be
But
able
should
to do it.
should it be like that?
It shouldn't be like that, but you see, the problem we're having with that is that all fingers are not equal
True.
with the states.
True.
So while some states are able to do it, others may find it a little difficult
Okay.
to do that. So
Exactly.
yeah, so
Wow.
that's the way it is.
All right, so it's a happy Workers' Day
Yes,
to
it
you.
is. Happy
Monday
Workers'
we
Day.
will be on the streets, the march pass and all of that should be happening on Monday, irrespective of what?
Or dance past.
The dance pass.
Well, anyway, Ferron Owotomo, our lifestyle host, is also in the house with her guest. And after we've broken down the first two focus areas with our first two guests, she will be coming on.
Yeah, and joining the conversation to unpack the new age entertainment is our very first guest, my brother, a very good friend of mine, my classmate, Professor Hope E.Eghagha, way back in Jos. Jos used to be beautiful, safe, and you didn't have to go abroad if you lived in Jos, but the story has changed, unfortunately, Hope. It's a blessing. I'm delighted that you could join us on this show this morning. Hope, how you day?
Fine, thank you, Helen and John, for having me on the program. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Prof. Well, I'll just let our viewers know that Professor Eghagha is, a poet. Yeah, he's a dramatist. He's a theater artist, a member of the Nigerian Folklore Society, a member Association of Nigerian Authors. That's not all. He's also a member of the African Literature Association. And indeed, we are so excited, Prof, to have you join the conversation.
So,
Thank you.
So, Prof, I'll dive into it right away because we really don't have much time.
Right.
Today, we are unearthing a huge topic, entertainment. And if you asked me how it all started, I wouldn't be able to tell you, So I want you to set us on our path of discovery. Could you please tell us in basic terms, what is entertainment?
Well, thanks for having me on this program. Entertainment. Entertainment is simply put to amuse, to make fun, in order to make you happy, to make your audience happy. And it comes in different forms. It will amuse you. When we want to amuse, it means we want to make you happy, we want to make you laugh through images, through stories, through narratives. And if I may join the God a little bit, it all started as storytelling in all human societies. We are all, as human beings, we've always liked entertainment. We want to be amused. That is what Chinua Achebe calls shortening the night before the days of television. Yeah, so that is entertainment, to amuse, to make fun, to create leisure. Yeah, that's it. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, you at least you've given us the book. You've given us the book definition. Yeah.
Yes,
Helen,
yes.
are you satisfied?
I am very, very satisfied. Well, you have tried to define entertainment using some of those specific words. Now, do you have any other examples, that can hit the nail more? Okay, you said through folklores, storytellings, and all of that. Because entertainment is not limited to the dramatics, if I can use that word. Can we also classify like games, like sports and all of that as means of solid entertainment?
Yeah, you see, that's the reason I gave that specific contextual definition. If you take from the history of man, man had always wanted to be entertained. And you entertain through storytelling, you entertain through dancing, you entertain through wrestling. Yes, wrestling, for instance, was a form, and it was a form of sport.
Sport, yes.
Okay, so you also entertain through sporting activities. When you go to the arena, the community arena, yes, that's, and you watch people who are wrestling, the traditional form of wrestling, yes, that is also entertainment. The storytelling, of course, was the best form. Storytelling through reenactment. In the evening, you are all gathered and you want to shorten the night and you tell stories. For instance, the story, oh, you see, the sky used to be very close to us here. That's at night, you want to tell a story. But you see, women will always pound yam into the night. And then they disturbed God. So God got angry and moved away. And that's how the sky became very far. You will tell such stories. Or you tell the story, you tell the story about the tortoise. How the tortoise and other birds went to the sky, other animals went to the sky for a meeting.
Yes.
And they went to their borrowed feathers. And at the end, because he had named himself all of you, he was also, he then said, yes, this food is for all of you, and he ate everything. And finally, when the event was over, he couldn't fly. They had taken all their, we're all familiar with that kind of story.
Yeah.
That is one. Then wrestling. Yeah, wrestling. So such stories were very important. They taught moral lessons. They re-emphasized our cultural values, honesty, all right, hard work, and commitment. All such stories were there, but also made you laugh. And when I talked about the story of women pounding yam and God getting angry, I noticed you all laughed. All right, so.
The good thing is that there is always a moral takeaway from most of these stories that you tell us. So, and we're beginning to lose those things now. We don't tell our children as many stories that we were exposed to.
Do you remember the stories yourself?
Well, if we had them published, one could easily reference them and transfer them to our children. Now, Prof, your answer, would suggest that entertainment itself could very well have evolved with the creation of man, right there. Okay. Now, could you give us an idea of which milestones over time we have experienced, since the beginning of man?
Sure.
in the area of entertainment?
Okay, now yes, from the oral form, where you had interpersonal communication, entertainment now moved to another level from the 18th, 19th century with the development of the radio, where you can use the radio to reach millions of people. You could hear the voice, but you couldn't see the person. All right, so that's with radio. And with radio, all kinds of programs also came on. Music, people singing, then, of course, sports. I remember we used to enjoy radio commentary better than television commentary.
Yes.
In our days, we placed the television and the radio side by side,
Yes.
mute the volume of the
TV.
television and increase the volume of the TV.
Yes.
All right, so increase the volume of the radio. Now, because the presentation by those commentators was very dramatic.
And
Each
entertaining.
1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bit, 4. Oh no, that's what I miss. But when you are watching it on television, sometimes you cannot synchronize the commentary with the action and the film. So,
those were the days of 1-1 goalless draw.
ODA has scored against Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. The impossible has happened. You know, so from radio,
yes,
now television. All right, and before we had cable television, we had television that catered just for your local audience. When we were growing up, television stations used to close around 11 or 12 midnight to resume by 4 the next day. But gradually, now we have embraced cable television.
Yes.
From cable television, we now have social media, so you can entertain.
Yes.
You are a broadcaster yourself.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
You then upload a video of your action and then it reaches millions. So gradually, look at the slow evolution from the oral form which dominated man for thousands of years.
Yes.
Before radio came. Then radio and television, we are told by 1952, the wedding of Queen Elizabeth was one of the very wedding, then inauguration. As Queen was one of the biggest programs on television and so on. Now it is gone to a very different level. So you can watch 3-4 programs simultaneously. You're talking about Netflix. Now I'm talking to you on Zoom. I don't have to come to the studio, you see?
Yes.
So the whole notion has changed. You report yourself.
Yes.
And then television ratings, although not so popular around here, abroad, they rate your program. If there are not too many people watching you, it means you are not entertaining people enough.
Yes.
And this has advantages and has disadvantages.
Yes.
I suppose we will get there later.
Yes.
Okay.
But you see, Prof, you've talked a lot about the technological evolution, you know, that we have experienced. Now, I want us to now shift our searchlight or our focus onto how much culture has influenced entertainment, the evolution of entertainment over time. Or is it the other way around? Is it entertainment that has influenced our culture, or is it culture that has influenced the entertainment? Help us break that down, please.
Okay, there is a symbiotic relationship between culture and entertainment. One influences the other. Of course, the very basic one is culture. Culture, the way of life of a people, which you find in their stories, their way of life, their oral values, their narratives, their myths and all. So that is culture. Your marriage, your funeral ceremonies, your festivals, all of those are part of culture.
True.
Now, when you broadcast, when you tell people this, when you tell stories, you are communicating the cultural values of your society, of your community, to the people of the world, okay? And then people watch that. Now, When it came to be that you also had to watch the cultures of other people, we then found our own cultures being influenced by the cultures of others. You see? Now, take for instance, you project African culture. Let's take a specific example of dancing. All right, you are doing a particular dance, a war dance, a wedding dance, with all kinds of insinuations and innuendos. You are doing all of those. You are projecting to the world, and sometimes not properly dressed in the Western sense of it, or you are, projecting these puberty rites of initiation, where the ladies are scantily dressed. They go through a period, 6 weeks, 1 month, what they used to call fattening house. That's part of the culture of that environment. You now begin to protect it. But there is somebody somewhere who says that is crude, all right? So you don't project naked women. So you find the entertainment industry affecting you. You begin to moderate that. Oh, this cannot appear on our program. So that's the reason I say there is a symbiotic relationship between culture and entertainment. Entertainment is used to project culture. But at the same time, when we watch other cultures, it also affects our ways. Remember, culture is not stagnant. Culture is dynamic. It moves with the times.
Okay.
The way things used to be done 50 years ago, we don't have to do them now because times have changed.
All right, Prof.
Now, there are persons behind these. They are human beings.
Okay.
So it's not just the medium. We are talking of the persons involved. And these are persons who are influenced by their environment, their social environment, their cultural environment, their political environment, the economic environment. All of these affect the persons. And when they design programs, when they develop stories, all of these tend to influence the type of story that they tell.
Okay, Prof. All right, Prof.
All right? Yes.
We'll move on. You know, as you speak, I remember, what entertainment, did to unite the world, especially Africa. I remember Festac 77.
77.
There was a lot of activities, and all nations in Africa came together, to celebrate Festac 77. So yes, you are right there. Now, let's move on. Of course, all these forms of entertainment at some point became regular practice and therefore became better organized. Now, when exactly would you say that entertainment became an industry? Because today, it's not the old kind of organization in the small arena, the village squares, the storytelling under the moon and all of that. When did man think it necessary to make entertainment as an industry?
Okay, thank you. Now, with the coming of the film, the development of the film industry, entertainment had to be better organized. That's from the latter part of the 19th century and the early part of the 20th century. When you develop the film, when actions were seen, you had to perform. In America, for instance, with the development of the movie industry, building cinema theaters, and that later spilled to Nigeria, Africa. We used to go watch movies. First, vehicles that came from the Ministry of Information came to show movies, and later private persons had movies. Then in Nigeria, with Ogunde, for instance, the Ogunde Theater, it moved from stage production to film production. All right, so is the latter part of the 19th century into the 20th century, with the development of technology, man had to move from the oral form to the to the film medium. All right, not the one-on-one communication, mass communication. All right, and that started with film, and of course, at first we said with the radio, and then moved on to the movie. So the movie industry radicalized entertainment. Entertainment was now taken to a new level. That programs had to be designed for an audience that wanted to be entertained and at the same time was critical. Along with that, developed the critical industry. Those who took pleasure, those who took on the assignment of keeping to standards by critiquing movies. All right? Does this conform? Does this help? Along with that, what of course was censors board, different ways. I mean, up to 1925, 1940, a novel was sanctioned by the British Censors Board simply because it discussed sexual sins. You can see we have gone beyond that. So it was a gradual process, but it was radicalized by the development of mass media, first with film and then with television. With television, brought images directly to your home, to your bedroom, to your living room. And this altered the whole perspective completely. Wow. Here, as I said, in Nigeria, Ogunde was one of the first to go into it. We also have documentaries, and later the Alawada went into it. Today we have Nollywood, all right? India, Bollywood, of course, the leader of them all, Hollywood in America. So it has radically redefined. Yeah. But you can see that social media, all right, with the emergence of Netflix and all other platforms for entertainment, all of that is being seriously interrogated. So that entertainment is being, you choose your own form of entertainment. Now I choose sports. I want to watch only sports. All right, you are not compelled to watch all. You then look at what entertains you. What could be entertaining to Jack may not be entertaining to Mary. Okay. I, for instance, I don't watch football. The European League, as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. If we had Iwanya playing against NNB or Enugu Rangers, I would be more interested than Chelsea or Arsenal. That's another matter. Yes.
That's another matter.
That's another matter, yes.
It's like you have refused to move with the times. You are patriotic, you know, and that's good. Well, time has practically just run out, and we wish we had more time to ask a few more questions. But we know that you're always there, and when we need you again, Professor Hope E.Eghagha, you will join us on this show, and a few other shows on this platform, to shed more light on different areas, especially as it affects communication, the theater arts, and all of that. You have been of tremendous assistance today in trying to help us find answers to loads of some of the questions we have.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And we're fast-tracking the show now. You know,
Thank you, Prof.
It's still today it's still today with John and Helen on PlusTvAfrica. And after the break, our next guest will join the show. Don't you go away.